Instagram because it likes to be slow. Here we go. It looks like we are live everywhere but Instagram, and we are as usual. It just takes a moment to get that going. So you can all see we have a guest here, and almost there. There we go. It looks like we have everybody connected now. All right, I will.
The screen just froze.
Because okay, I see us now, and I see Elizabeth Frozen, who is here. And we have as a special guest, we have Elizabeth. There's the one that I mess up. Elizabeth.
That's fine.
Okeyule Latinji. Do you want to say your name properly there, Elizabeth?
That's fine, JC. Thank you. That's amazing. Thank you for the effort. Beautiful.
Okay, good. All right. So Elizabeth is absolutely awesome. And you want to tell us where you're joining us from?
Oh my God. I'm from Lagos, Nigeria in Africa. I'm excited to be here. Hi, everyone. That's the Nigeria energy.
We love it. I love that you're here all the way from Nigeria. That is the best. It's like 5 p.m. where you are, right?
Exactly. 5:02 p.m. to be precise.
5:02 p.m. on like Friday or it's still Wednesday there, I know.
5. It's a Wednesday. It's a Wednesday.
I know. I'm just my mother was in the military and was always all over the country. I mean, all over the world. Okay. And we used to tease her. What day is it
there? It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Time zones. Yeah. Awesome. And Elizabeth is going to be writing an amazing article for us, and I'll let her tell you all about that. Sharon over on Instagram says hello. I cannot show the Instagram comments on the screen, but I can show YouTube and Facebook. Monica over on YouTube says good morning from foggy Santa Barbara. What are things like where you are with your weather there in Nigeria? It's
well, it's quite it's quite a bit of rainy season now, but it's cool today. No rain, not too much sun, just the perfect weather. Awesome.
Oh, that you are lucky. It's like 100-something degrees here in New Jersey. So
wow. Is that's hot or cold?
It's hot. It's very hot. 100. It's like 102 degrees Fahrenheit here. So that's very warm. Yeah, and it gets pretty humid here too. So it's quite warm. Yeah, I know people usually think that Africa is just like really hot and muggy and stuff, but from what I hear from people who actually live there or have been there, that is not the case. It actually sounds like it's beautiful weather there.
It is. I think our weather is part of the blessings we enjoy back home in Nigeria. So we have both the rainy season, we have both the dry season, and we also have the harmattan. So there's a blend of all of the season, and we have green plants, we have good food, great taste, an amazing community of people.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know what it is. A lot of the people, most of the people who I have met who are African, who have come here from Africa, as opposed to having Africa descendants, but have come here themselves from Africa, seem to be from Nigeria. I don't know why. It might just be the area where I live, but let me tell you, nicest people. You're all so incredibly friendly and happy and welcoming. It's lovely.
Because it's our culture. We are a community-bounded people, and then so we talk to our neighbors talk back to us, our neighbors can help with the children, we get support from around us, and so it affects who we are and how we relate to other people as well. So community is at the hallmark of what we do back home in Nigeria.
See, and that is beautiful. We could learn so much from that. And that's one of the things I try to foster within Crochet Foundry is the community aspect and the being there and supporting each other, because it makes everybody happier. It's so good for your mental health to know that you are supported and loved. And I'm sure and like when you were little, your parents knew that if your parents had to run off and do something, there was probably somebody who could look after you if you needed to be looked after. And you were probably decently safe being left for a bit because there were so many people around to take care of you. So
That's
that
correct. That's
sense
correct.
of
That's correct. So we
community.
have that as a big blessing for us, and that's why it's easier for me to teach crochet and also be also be someone who is really big on asking people to also learn how to crochet as a very community bounded craft. It has to do with my experience with working with young people, and also being able to also experience the revolution we are seeing in the crochet craft industry. There's a big revolution happening. I wouldn't say about the US, but in Nigeria. So it's a typical sight now to see a group of teenagers coming from school, and they crochet on the road as they are going. And I would tell them, you have to watch for oncoming vehicles. You could do this in the home. And so young people actually learn crochet from their classmates, and it keeps going like a big community. And so it is not just even just being a community bounded people. We also use community as a way to pass on the love of crochet from one child to another, from one person to another.
Lovely. I love that you said it's really having like a big like revolution right now. And I know that crochet is definitely having a moment here in the States and in crafts in general. But there are certain places where it seems to be booming even more. And you're telling us Nigeria is one of those places where it's booming even more.
Yes.
I
Yes,
love
not
that.
only Nigeria as well. Also, I've been to actually Kenya too. They also have a crochet movement as well. Their weather is also very neat and crochet wear friendly. And then also we have our neighboring country like Cameroon, and I have a couple of crafters of friends in Uganda and a couple of African countries as well. So it's quite versatile, and it's also a real craft that is going to thrive very well in Africa because we are already used to the community. We have a communal lifestyle back home here, and we live with this. And so it's easier for us to pass on this craft from one person to another. And children themselves, like I said earlier on, are the hallmark of using community to learn crochet. So one person knows how to crochet in her class, you'll be confident that almost everybody in that class is going to learn how to crochet, provided they admit their crochet pins and their yarns. So she's happy to teach the next person, and the next person is also happy to teach the next person, and everybody is just fine crocheting away.
I love that. When I learned to crochet from my great grandmother, so I learned from an actual person sitting next to her. A lot of people who are in the current kind of crochet boom here have learned from YouTube or whatever, and there is nothing wrong with that. But I love that I learned sitting next to my great grandmother. Like that was awesome for me.
Mm-hmm.
And years ago, I taught. I ran the costume department for Adelphi University, and one year I was making crochet scarves and hats for Christmas gifts. And I think I taught like half a dozen or more of the college students, of the theater kids, how to crochet because they saw me doing it in my downtime and they all wanted to learn. And it's so much fun to be able to teach and learn in person. And then they would teach each other.
Mm-hmm.
By the end of that year,
Mm-hmm.
like I think half the theater department could crochet. It was beautiful. It was so much fun.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes. So crochet is helping us to reinforce the beauty of community and the beauty of having people learn. Now, I recently attended my son's open day in school, and he went and told all his classmates that my mom is a crochet teacher. And they were all waiting for me. And I had this couple of tangled yarns in my bag that I happily gave them. I gave them crochet pin as well. And instead of doing the open day, I was actually teaching them how to crochet. And so the community is not just for the teens and for the adults alone, even for children as well. So when I drop him off in school at times, I hear people who come in and say, I would like some yarns, I would like some crochet pin, I would like some crochet tips, and it keeps growing and growing and growing. And so there's so much we're going to learn from the psychology of humans with the crochet craft.
I love that. And I've been sharing a lot of the comments here on the screen when they come in from Facebook and Instagram and YouTube. Over here on Instagram, we also have Sharon Shipley says, awesome. I've always heard that it takes a village to raise a child. So she was loving our community talk here. And she also said hello. It looks like those are the comments there that I cannot currently share. And it looks like Robin here is having a great time. Used to be that way in your community and not anymore, and you miss it. I completely agree, Robin. When I was a kid, we had a community very much like what Elizabeth is sharing. And it's interesting because it was definitely a lower income area where I lived, where we had this amazing community. And now I live in a higher income area, not high, but like middle class area. And it's not quite the same. And I've discovered that my friendliest neighbors, the neighbors who like we all like run over to each other's houses and exchange goodies and stuff for holidays, or we like, they know they can knock on my door if they need somebody to watch their kids. They tend to be the neighbors who have moved here from other countries. They are really the ones who are more into the community. The people who have lived in this neighborhood and in this country for generations aren't quite as community based. And so it's, the people who have shown up at my door to see if I can like watch their kids or who I exchange gifts and stuff with on the holidays tend to be a lot of the people who came here from other countries, which is a sad thing to say about the States. And we need to learn from places like Nigeria, where, where that community is just so beautiful. Let's see, Robin also just, Firelight Creations, who is also our mod, Sarah, says hello. And she learned how to crochet from the Woobles. Monica still has the crochet hooks her grandmother gave her to learn to crochet. Real antiques, but they still work. I know, I have some of those from my great grandmother. Robin says still lives in the community, but there's all new people living here. Yeah. Now, Elizabeth, this all kind of leads into what you are going to be writing an article about for us, and what you would like people to fill out a survey about. So why don't you tell us that, and I will, when you're done, I will share where people can find the survey.
All right. So the title of the survey is Healing Through Craft, Finding Joy with Crochet. Now, this survey is actually very close to my heart because it's like from a personal story. My brother passed on in August, and those few weeks when he died, it was very, very dark, and the grief was so intense. I felt his death in my bones, in my blood. It was so, so damn painful because it's like my only brother. Now, at that moment, being a crochet and knitting teacher for children for over 12 years, I had to go back to this craft as my go-to place. So I got very bright colored yarns, and I used them to actually knit myself some swatches. I never actually got around to making those swatches into something really nice, but at that point in time, that yarn and having something tangible to work with helped me go through difficult situation. So up to now, I still always carry about my yarn in my bag, a crochet pin, and also a pair of knitting needles. And I do that almost every day. I knit and crochet every day. Now, so that bets this series of Healing Through Craft. For those who are into the sewing community, how has sewing helped you to get through the most difficult, most challenging periods of life? Now, also with the knitting, Healing Through Knitting, how has knitting helped you to go through difficult situations? And crochet as well. Now, guess what? I have actually got more responses with the crochet than even with the sewing and even with the knitting itself, showing that we have more population who are crocheting than more population who are knitting and who are sewing and who are quilting just at a point of their healing. So now when you see the survey form, the first question we have on the survey form says, how long have you been crocheting? A couple of 6 months, a couple of 1 year, and all of that. Then this one says, how did you learn how to crochet? There's a self-taught part where someone says, my grandmother taught me, my friend taught me. So how did you learn how to crochet? Then another question is, when you crochet, how does it usually make you feel? What positive emotions do you associate with crochet? And that's like an open-ended question, because I want people to be able to express themselves as much as possible. So what positive emotions does crochet bring to you? You know, we have that as a fourth question on the survey form. Then the fifth question says, have you used crochet as a tool to cope with any of the following: anxiety, depression, grief or loss, physical illness, life transition, none of the above? I must tell you that we have over 35 responses so far of people who have turned up with their responses. And I'm very sure that at the end of this live chat, we're going to have more people who would want to keep sending their survey responses. And I'm saying this is going to turn into a movement, you know. Thank you, Fire Lake Creations. It's going to turn into a movement, and we might even have a book, you know, a book collaboration where we could have people send in their crochet patterns that they have used as a source of healing. So, what are the kind of projects that that comes to mind when you are grieving? What are those things that you can, when you are anxious, when you are depressed? What is that your go-to crochet project that you know? Oh, someone says crochet is cheaper than psychiatric fees. That's correct. Yes, yarn is the best therapy. Crochet is the best therapy. Yeah. So what is that? What is that thing what is that project that you always run to? Because people around the world needs to know your story. So this survey allows you to also keep doing that. And if you want to still continue your story, maybe give us something personal, because we could see a series as well in the Crochet Foundry magazine, you know, and it keeps going on and on. What brings you the best joy with crochet? Would you share a personal story with us, you know? And so this is a movement, this is a community, this is for everyone. Bringing your crochet story and how you have healed with crochet. Someone somewhere needs to read your story and get motivated with it.
Lovely. Thank you so much. I'm so excited about this article. And guys, let me show you real quick where you can find that survey. So let me pop over to where we can share our screen here. Okay. So I'm on the Crochet Foundry site, right? First of all, if you are watching this live on YouTube or on Facebook, the link for the survey is actually in the description. And if you're watching the rerun on YouTube, the link for the survey is still in the description. In addition to that, you can always go to crochetfoundry.com, and then under community, you can find our event calendar. And I included the link in the event announcement, and you see the event announcements stay up even after they're over. So at any point in time, you can go back to today's sit and stitch. Today is the 25th, and you see it right here on the 25th. All right. And if you click on that and it opens up, you can see, to help her with this article, she has created a survey that you can fill out. You can find it here, and you can just click on that. And it's going to be slow because we're live. There we go. It likes to take its time when we're live here. And you can see here's the survey. So this is really easy to fill out. There are some just clicks, and there are some fill in. And we definitely have heard from Elizabeth that she wants your stories. So go ahead and take your time, write these answers. If it's a long answer, that's totally fine. Tell your stories. And if you need to take a bit to, type them out on Word or something and then cut and paste them in there, it totally works with these Google Docs. So go ahead and fill these out. And how long do they have to fill this out too? When is the deadline for being done with these for the article?
All right, so we're still going to keep the crochet survey open. We also talked about having a series, so as the survey is always open. When it's time to collate for the first series of the article, we put what we have together and make it into an article on the Crochet Foundry platform. And if we keep collecting and collecting, we also come back again. You see, Jesse, you said there's so much space to put the story. And then there's the beautiful thing about surveys, that survey is full of learning opportunities and surprises. So the survey is always open. We want to hear your story, and we want to keep growing our community of those who are healing with crochet across the world.
Awesome. And Sarah says that crochet gets me through some dark days. It's calming to do, and I have something wonderful to show for it. That is awesome. Yes. completely agree. And oh, Monica just popped in and also agrees. So yeah, as far as that survey goes, everybody, you can keep on filling it out. What'll happen is in either the fall or winter issue, there will be the first article from Elizabeth, and then after that, she'll let me know when she's ready for another one. You know, who knows how often they'll happen? It'll probably depend on how many times, and how many survey responses she gets. Um, and we'll make sure to we'll probably have to maybe add a new little tab in Crochet Foundry for the survey to make it a little bit more direct to get to it and everything. So we'll look at that and make sure you all know. I am so excited about this because I love community. I love hearing other people's stories. And one thing that I've also found is not only is it that crochet can be very healing, creation in general, creating things in general can be very healing, and being creative. But when you read about other people's stories and how crochet has helped them, sometimes their story gives you hope. So maybe there's somebody else who has had a sibling who has passed away, or somebody who they've loved dearly who has passed away, and hearing you talk about how just making something with that bright yarn, even if it was just swatches and never turned into something, just the act of doing it helped you. Maybe that's going to inspire them. Like I have only one brother as well. I have no sisters, and just one brother who's 2 years older than me. And I was just he was just with his kids at the Grand Canyon and last week, and he called, and I asked them if he stood too close to the edge and scared them, because the one time I've been to the Grand Canyon was with my brother. We were driving. I had been living in California. I was moving up here to New England, and he was driving with me. And we stopped at the Grand Canyon, and he was standing, I thought, too close to the edge. And I kept asking him to move, and he wasn't moving. And then finally I said, Alex, if you fall in, I'm jumping after you because I cannot live without you. And he stepped back. And it was like, because I had this heaviness in my heart. I was terrified. Very few times in my life have I felt the level of fear that I felt when I thought he was too close to the edge of the Grand Canyon. And I knew that he wasn't going to like purposefully do anything, but I was, he's so important to me. I can't even begin to imagine the pain that the feeling that you had, and to know that something like crochet can help you get through that.
Grief. Yes, grief is so intense, and it's so intense that it takes over all your body, particularly when it's someone that you really love so much. And so it looked like as if nothing was going to work for me at that time. But working with a bright colored yarns every day, I could return to that, was like a go-to place for me, you know. It was very relieving. And so it feels so good to write about, to have a survey where people still tell me how it helped them. It's also part of my healing too. It's also part of my healing. So in the future, we're looking, maybe we could even have a kit. Maybe we could have a pattern out of all this conversation. And we want to let the whole world hear that if you are going through one of life's challenges, you are going to be able to work with maybe color yellow yarn, maybe color pink yarn, maybe color white yarn. It could be very therapeutic, you know, maybe on day 2 of the grief, maybe on day 5, and maybe just a purse to hold your phone, you know, maybe just your brother's favorite color, something, you know, something just to help you that is crochet and craft related. So there's so much hidden knowledge on this, in this part of the learning, and I'm excited to be on this part.
I love it. Thank you.
Do you understand?
I'm wondering, and I'm sure a lot of the other people here are wondering, what type of yarns do you like to use in Nigeria? What fibers and that sort of stuff?
All right, now, so despite the fact that we have a growing community of crafters, we do not have sustainable yarn produced in Nigeria. Now, cotton actually grows here, and then we've had times where we've been talking in the yarn factory to say, give us some cotton yarns, but there's no wide distribution yet at the moment. I'm also in the back trying to grow this. So, but we have acrylic everywhere. there's acrylic yarn, bright color for the children to experiment with. But I am such a big fan of sustainable yarns. You know, when I attended the H&H and saw premium luxury yarns, I went to the silk session and I touched it. I saw those organic cuttings, you know, those type of yarns that appeal to all my five senses. And I'm like, children in Africa needs to have this feel, because those sustainable fibers, you know, they also help to add to your healing. So I'm looking forward to into the future where we are going to have these sustainable yarns that are good for the earth, yarns that are good for the hands, yarns that are good for all your five senses, be readily available on the streets in Nigeria. Also, for now, we've not been able to achieve that. But children make do of what they see. Adults make do of what they see, and that's yarns, acrylic yarns from China, milk cotton yarns from China, and a few cotton here and there.
Awesome. Okay, cool. Now, do you ever make your own yarn while you're out? Do you ever make your own yarn?
Yes.
Yeah.
So we have the recycled yarns where you can make your t-shirt yarns from your old t-shirts, you know, and they are cotton, so they are quite cheap, because we have some people who want to also learn but who may not be able to afford expensive yarn. So to keep their creativity going, they can always get clothes around, they can recycle and make into their own yarn. So I teach that class too, and I also teach. I taught it last term, and I'm also still currently teaching it. And I say we have a lot of thrifted cotton t-shirt lying all around Nigeria or all around Lagos, and they're quite affordable. Turn them into yarns, you know, just the scissors and just something you cut them into strip, and you have that to experiment with. So we're big on recycling because the world is actually going sustainable now. The earth's resources is depleting. All these human activities are they're ruining the earth. So what do we do to make the earth better? It starts with our craft and it starts with our yarn.
Lovely. And that actually leads me into something I wanted to make sure everybody here knew, especially anybody who is a designer. Please listen up. Within the next few days, I'm going to send out an email to anybody on the designer list. So let me show you where that is real quick. We'll go back to the screen share. Okay. And we'll close off this and we're back at Crochet Foundry. Let's see, Crochet Foundry. And everything takes its time. Our winter issue is going to be focusing on like reduce, reuse, recycle. All right, so if you go under About, there is submit a design. Under About, you see submit a design. If you click on that, there is sign up for the design calls. So if you are a designer and you want to know when we're looking for patterns or whatever for Crochet Foundry, then this is what you want to fill out. You just fill this out and it puts you on the email list for our design calls. All right. So if you want to do that like today. I'm not going to send out the email today because I want people to have time to do this. So how about this? I'll wait until Friday to send out the email so everybody has some time to fill out the sign up for design calls. Make sure you've signed up. I still need a few patterns for winter. So, like I said, our winter issue is going to be about reduce, reuse, recycle. So if you have a pattern or an article or something that you want to submit, and this will be in the newsletter, so it'll be explained a little better because I'll have time to edit it and everything. Something like I'm going to be writing about how I take scraps of fabric. I made my daughter's prom outfit, and there was leftover scraps of fabric, and there were like the off cuttings of the fabric, and I've turned that into yarn. And I'm making a bag out of it, making a really fun little purse out of it. So, or if maybe you have a pattern that, or you want to write a pattern for how to take an old jean jacket and, add some crochet to it, or, your favorite skirt is now too small because it was your favorite skirt when you were 12 and it doesn't fit you anymore. And so you open it up and add in some crochet panels. So now it fits you as an adult, and you can still wear your favorite skirt from when you were 12 because you've reused it and used crochet to make it something you can still use. Maybe you've taken old t-shirts and crocheted, cut out the little image and crocheted around the edge to make little squares and made a blanket out of it. So any of those sorts of reusing, recycling, upcycling ideas that you have, all of the important dates and everything will be in that letter, that newsletter I'm going to send out to Friday, and it's on Friday, and it's only going to go out to people on the design list. So make sure you sign up. Go to Crochet Foundry, and then in the menu under About, click on Submit a Design, and that's where you sign up for the design calls. Make sure you've done that. If you have an idea for an article or a design that you want to put in that winter article, in that winter issue, because we really want to make sure that we are being a sustainable community as well. And remember, you can also use things where you go to a thrift store. All right. I know I told my husband, because he was like, I think I'm going to go to the thrift store and get a few pair of pants just, for, and some stuff for like when I'm working in the garage or whatever, because the stuff when I'm working in the garage is going to get destroyed. So why should I go spend real money on it? I can just go to the thrift store and get some stuff. And I was like, okay, well, when you go, I want to go with you, because I want to find things that I can turn into something. Like maybe I find a really cute skirt that I want to put some crochet panels in, or maybe I find a great pair of jeans that I want to turn into a skirt. I don't know if you guys have seen them, but I know I see them everywhere where people have taken a pair of jeans, and they're actually sold by like fashion companies, where people have taken a pair of jeans and opened them up and turned them into a skirt with more fabric. You can do that with crochet, and you can go to the thrift store and find it. You can get a cool belt and attach a crochet skirt to it and use the belt as the waistband. So go to a thrift store and get some cool ideas from what you see at the thrift store. Or maybe you just find a dress with the most amazing fabric ever that you want to turn into yarn by cutting it into strips. So any of those things, I'd love to hear about them. On Friday, I'll be sending out that design call, and y'all can send me your ideas. And, if we end up having a lot more than we need, then maybe some of those will be part of the winter crochet along. Or if we have a lot more than we need, we can always do a blog hop, where anything that doesn't end up published in the magazine, you can publish it yourself if you have a blog. And then we can do a winter blog hop for recycling ideas. And of course, if you don't have a blog, you can always write an article for the Crochet Foundry blog. When you write an article for the Crochet Foundry blog, if you have affiliate links for things, I'm always fine with you using your affiliate links. If you've written an article and you maybe have an affiliate link for the yarn company you used or whatever, totally cool with you putting those in your article. We want to make sure that everybody is benefiting as much as possible. We do not have a huge budget. A lot of what we do here is profit sharing. So, a lot of times when you do an article or a design or something in Crochet Foundry, you actually get a percentage of the sales. And then one that keeps me from losing my house, which almost happened last year because I was paying so much with Crochet Foundry to the designers, and the sales weren't enough. And two, it motivates everybody who took part in the magazine to also advertise the magazine, so hopefully more people are buying it. My goal is that by doing profit sharing, the people who are doing profit sharing will make even more than they made when I was paying a flat fee. That is what I would like to see. All right. So let's get there. And if you are not a designer and you want to know how can I support you, you support us by buying the magazine, because that pays everybody who took part in the magazine. And of course, we also have our independent designer section. When you're on the Crochet Foundry site, there's the patterns and more section. Those patterns in the patterns and more section, when you buy a pattern, the majority of the purchase price goes back to the actual designer. I get a small percentage. It pays for the app that allows me to share profits. And that app, guys, that app is $500 a year, right? So I need to sell a lot of patterns before I even make any money. So first it goes to pay for the app, and then if there's any bit of that percentage left after the app is paid for, I get a little bit. So the patterns and more section, those patterns, you're going to support the individual designers. And then if you're buying the magazine, anything before summer, you're supporting me so I can pay everybody, and anything from summer and on, you are also supporting the people who took part in the magazine, because I started with the summer 25 doing the profit sharing, because like I said, the magazine unfortunately wasn't making the kind of money that it wasn't making as much as it was costing. So that is one of the main reasons why we switched over. But like I said, my goal with this is that we are selling so many magazines that people start making even more money by doing the profit sharing than they would have with the flat fees. That's where I want to see this. And one of the ways I see that happening is by having this amazing content. I've always thought that the content is amazing. The people who have bought the magazine have always told me the content is amazing. I want to keep that amazing content. And I think a really important part of that amazing content are articles like what Elizabeth is going to be writing for us, and that the whole series of it, and anything it turns into. The using crochet and crafting as a community and as a way to heal is so beautiful. And and I feel like it's one of the things that brings a lot of value to Crochet Foundry, to our magazine, to our blog. When you're on crochetfoundry.com, there's the link for the blog. A lot of things that are in the magazine will eventually end up on the blog. Not the patterns, but a lot of the articles will eventually end up on the blog. We also have our Patreon community, and we have I didn't put the link in here, but we are on Discord as well. That's where we're having our main community at this point, and those links are in every newsletter. I want to share a few links with you here. This link, what does this link here do, Elizabeth?
Yeah, so we have like a big community of crafters and the Craft Industry Alliance, which I'm a member. And so once you click on that link, you actually join the Craft Industry Alliance as a member using my affiliate. So I get a little part of your joining fee when you join with my affiliate link. And so it's a great platform for even you yourself, JC, to sell your magazine, and for crafters and crochet community people around the world. So that's the link. That's how you can support me, by clicking on that link to join, either for 6 months or 1 year. And a little part of your joining fee, I get that for myself.
Yes. So, guys, Craft Industry Alliance is wonderful. Their newsletters are so informative. Honestly, even if you don't if you're a member of Craft Industry Alliance, you get and you qualify to go to H&H, you get a free ticket to H&H. But even if you don't go to H&H, it's still worth the price of the membership for the CIA. So yes, Elizabeth and I are in the CIA.
We have a lot in common.
Yes, the Craft Industry Alliance. And they have some really informative articles and really important articles. They have their pulse on the craft industry in general. There are a lot of crocheters there. I know sometimes when you join something that's craft at large, crochet kind of feels like this tiny little piece. And you're like, what am I getting out of this if the only craft you do is crochet? But even if the only craft you do is crochet, there are a lot of crocheters in the Craft Industry Alliance. We are not neglected within that. And if you're like me and you do like everything, it's epically amazing. But even if all you do is crochet, it is 100% worth it. And if you're going to join, please use Elizabeth's affiliate link. I don't have one. And Elizabeth was gracious enough to ask, which is, so you all know, if you're ever, doing a guest appearance somewhere, you should, if you're doing a guest appearance, you should always ask before putting up an affiliate link, because the person giving the presentation may have one, or may ever rule against it. Elizabeth was
That's true.
gracious enough to ask, and since I don't have an affiliate link, and even if I did, I probably would have said yes because I like to make sure everybody is getting a benefit. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so, but I don't have one. So I am highly encouraging you, if you're going to join the Craft Industry Alliance, which you should, use this affiliate link. You're going to pay the exact same price, only you're going to give a little thank you here to Elizabeth for being the one to introduce you and for being so incredibly awesome here. So
Thank you so
use that
much.
link,
Thank you
and
so much,
I will
everyone.
add, you're welcome. I will add this after the live is over. I'll go when I set the YouTube recording. I will go ahead and add this link into the description of the YouTube recording. So if you watch a rerun of this, or if you want to be able to cut and paste it, because I know you can't cut and paste from your screen, if you want to be able to cut and paste this, wait until like an hour after this is over and pop over to YouTube and it will be in the description of the YouTube video, where you can copy and paste it or just click on it or whatever.
Thank you so much.
Of course. You know, I always say I want to win the lottery so that I can like provide. That's what I want to do. I
Mm-hmm.
want to win the lottery so I can provide. You know, I want to live happily and easily and not worry about if I can afford those groceries and if the, you know,
I
if
think
Wells Fargo.
with the crochet, yes, I think with your crochet foundry magazine, it's quite big, it's quite huge, and it's going places. So you just have to keep at it, so steady, steady, steady. And then most crocheters actually do not earn so much. I think it's just a general story because I've written quite a lot of articles and it's still the same. Everyone is just getting enough to get by. But the beauty is that we are learning, we're holding each other strong, and we are a force and a community.
Exactly. And by doing things like advertising each other's affiliate links and stuff like that, you know, by allowing people to put their affiliate links in articles, by sharing them here, I can hopefully help them earn a little extra money in a way that isn't affecting whether or not I can pay my mortgage. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's not, they get to earn more money, and it's not me, I'm not the one necessarily paying them. I'm just advertising kind of for them. So we love doing that. It's, you know, that's why I love being able to have the independent designer patterns on Crochet Foundry. And I highly encourage any designers to go ahead and sign up for that. You're not going to, the percentage we take is higher than like Ravelry or Etsy, which is huge, which is a, you know, a huge industry, a huge company. But we of the smaller companies where you can put out things, we have one of the highest. Most of them are around a 50-50 share. We give our designers 70%. All right. And our patterns I just asked that the pattern starts at $4.99. It's at least priced at $4.99 or higher. Um, and if that seems like an expensive amount for the pattern you're writing, then put two patterns together. You know, maybe it's coasters, put two coaster patterns together in one pattern and sell that for $4.99. I have no problem with it. Make an ebook of several patterns. I just want to make sure that anything that I put for sale on that is at least $4.99, because like I said, you guys get 70%, I only get 30%, and the app that even allows me to do that is $500 a year, which means I have to sell a whole lot of patterns at $5. If a pattern is $5, I get 15 cents. You know how many 50, I get, not 15 cents, sorry, $1.50. It's a lot of $1.50s to get to 500 patterns. What is it about? I mean, to $500. It's about, what is that? 300? About 300, right? Yeah, somewhere around there. So yeah, we have to sell a lot of patterns before I even start making any money off of them. But that 70% that you make as the designer it's better than most of the other smaller companies that allow you to put out to sell your patterns. But yes, it is less than what you're going to make on Etsy and Ravelry. However, it's a different audience. There are people in the Crochet Foundry audience who might not be on Etsy, might not be on crochet on Ravelry. So that is a wonderful thing you can do, and you find where to do that again in the same about. So you go to Crochet Foundry, you do the about drop down, and it says IDP, which stands for Independent Designer Program or Patterns. Submit a pattern, and you click on that, and it gives you the information. These are little drop downs. It tells you what we're looking for, what you get, and how it works. All right. It's really simple and easy. The forms are actually hosted. They're not Google Forms. The company the app is called Fluent Forms, and so it's like attached to my website. So it's really easy for me to get the answers. So yeah, go ahead and fill that out, and you can sell your own patterns on Crochet Foundry. And I encourage everybody to do that. We just ask that they are well written and that you provide pattern support when it's needed, because it's your pattern. So you do the pattern support because I don't know your pattern. What else? Is there anything else you would like us to know, Elizabeth, or any questions you have? Oh, I should go back to our comments here. Let's see. Oh, we have a new person saying hello. Hats on a Mission says hello. Hello. I'm gonna guess Hats on a Mission must be. I'm gonna have to check this out. They might be a charity or something. Anything else you want to say or ask, Elizabeth?
No. So I look forward to coming again. Viewers can fill the survey form, share it also with their network, how crochet has helped you with a difficult situation, difficult challenge, and also use up my affiliate link. And I look forward to the writing the series with the Crochet Foundry magazine and more community exchange in the future. Thank you so much.
Of course, and thank you for joining us all the way from Nigeria. I love that. I know it's getting to be later on here. I'm gonna go on for a few more minutes. You're welcome to stay, or if you need to go get dinner going or whatever, you can do that as well.
Thank you so much, Jessie. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Bye-bye. Excuse me. Oh my goodness, guys, that was awesome, right? Wow, Elizabeth sent me an email about a month before H&H asking if I would be interested in an article. She would like to write this article, and she told me what she wanted to write it about, and told me a little bit about how she intended on doing it, and gave me some links to some other articles she had written, which, guys, that is the way to approach somebody. Like, she told me who she was, what she wanted to write about, and it was something that totally made sense within Crochet Foundry. It wasn't something random, like, your favorite foods or whatever. And links to other things she had written, so I could see that she actually, yes, she knows what she's doing. She is a good writer with a wonderful personality, and that comes through in what she writes and everything. So I was super excited, and I said, you know what, I'm going to be going to H&H. I'm going to get back to you after H&H because I'm currently like getting ready for this. And she was like, I'm going to be there. I was like, awesome, I'll meet you. So we actually got to meet in person at H&H, and it was awesome. It was so cool to get to meet Elizabeth in person. She is just as lovely as you saw. And as I said, everybody who I've ever met from Nigeria has always been just so kind and loving. And I loved her explanation of that. If you didn't see it, if you came in later, watch the rerun over on YouTube, because we talk about that at the beginning here. And it all has to do with community and just everybody joining together. And it creates a wonderful, every person, when you have a community like that, where everybody works together and everybody helps you through things, you become a person who likes people, and you become a kind, loving person, because that is what you do. It's just the way people are when you work together as a community. You care about each other, you love each other, and that is so good for your mental health. And I am true believer that part of the reason why so many of us have mental health difficulties, be it long term or even, on and off kind of things, a lot of that I feel like could be taken care of with, if we got back to that community feel, if we had more community, if people were not so much in it for themselves but about their community, that would be so helpful. Sure, there are people um, who are genetically going to just have some issues, but as one of those people who genetically, this is part of who I am, I can tell you, when I feel safe and comfortable, when I'm in an environment like at H&H, like when I'm around my crochet and craft friends who are a true community, who do care about me and who I care about, and where I feel safe and loved and welcomed, I feel better mentally. It is so good for your mental health. So, it's a really beautiful thing, and it creates happier, healthier people. And so when you grow up in a place like that, like Elizabeth did in Nigeria, you become this loving, amazing individual. And that is truly a beautiful thing. But even, guys, if you are not blessed enough to grow up in or live in a place with such a huge, beautiful community, um, that is what I strive to have here at Crochet Foundry. A place where everybody is safe and valued and loved and important. A safe space for everybody who, as long as you are kind to each other, we are good to go. So, even if you don't have it in person, or even if you do, we welcome you here to the Crochet Foundry community. You can find us on Discord, Jesse at Home and at the Foundry at Discord. I haven't put that up on the banner yet, but let me find it, and I'll put it up. Oh, you know why? Because you need an invite link, and that invite link is on it's in our it's in the newsletters. So make sure you've joined the newsletter, and I'll add the invite link here, because thankfully the Discord invite links are actually reasonably short. So even if you can't cut and paste them, you can if you can't cut and paste them off the screen, they're easy enough to copy. So in the description of this video, I will add in the affiliate link for Elizabeth for the Craft Industry Alliance, and I will also add in the invite link to the Discord, and I'm finding that right now. Okay, so I have copied it, and I'm going to post it as a comment. It will not show up on Instagram. Let me see. I might be able to post it on Instagram, though. I can post it as a separate comment on Instagram. Yes, I did. Okay, I posted it as a comment on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. So it's a comment right now, and I'll put it in the description on YouTube for the replay. Let me go back to comments before we go. Does anybody, that is not back to comments. That is back to comments. All right. Before we go, does anybody have any questions or anything? Like I said, I'm going to get out that newsletter on Friday to anyone who is signed up under Submit a Pattern. So you go to crochetfoundry.com, you click on the About in the menu, you click on Submit a Pattern. I'm sorry, you click on the About in the menu. Yeah, and you click on Submit a Pattern, and you can, Submit a Pattern is the independent designer program. You click on Submit a Design, and that is where you sign up to be on the list that I will be sending an email out to on Friday for anyone who wants to submit a design to the winter issue of Crochet Foundry. And again, crochetfoundry.com under about, that's submit a design. And then under that is IDP submit a pattern. If you click on that, that is where you get the information on how you can sell your own patterns on crochetfoundry.com. So before I let you go, I'll give you a minute if you have any additional questions or comments. It looks like everybody is good. I know we are right at 1 o'clock, and so some of you are probably running away. There are still a few of you here on some of the channels. All right, so it looks like we are all good. If you are a Patreon patron, we have a live today from 6 to 9. And if you are Patreon patron, remember you also get the patterns you get the printable patterns, the PDFs for the crochet along patterns. You can get those for free. This is the summer crochet along right now, so it ends at the end of August. So all the way until the end of August, the coupon code, I believe it's Patreon Cal, I believe, Patreon CAL, but it's listed in the Patreon, and I believe it's on the article on the blog about the crochet along, and I have it set so that it'll only work for people who are paid patrons. If you are a paid patron and you try to use the coupon and it does not take 100% off your order, do not hit purchase and pay for it. Send me an email at support@crochetfoundry.com and let me know, because I will make sure that it works for you. So that's the email. All right. And we will make sure that happens. If you are a Patreon patron and that coupon code is not working for you. So the lowest level of Patreon is, I think, $5. And normally those patterns start at $4.99. We already have 2 patterns this month. So you've already gotten 2 patterns for the price of 1, essentially, by getting the 2 free patterns this month that cost as much as the lowest level of Patreon costs. And there will be more. There's actually quite a few patterns in the summer crochet along. So there will be quite a few of them going throughout the entire summer, all the way through the end of August. And you'll get all of those for free. And then, as we go on, there's always going to be some sort of crochet along, and Patreon patrons get those for free. And there are other benefits as well. So that's our Patreon link. It's at the Foundry is our Patreon page. And I am going to let you all go now. It is 12:57. I could really use some lunch. So it was wonderful having you all here. Thank you so much. I hopefully will see some of you from 6 to 9 Eastern this evening in the Patreon Sit and Stitch social. And next week is the open to everybody Sit and Stitch from 7 to 9 Eastern. Tonight is from 6 to 8 Eastern. For the Patreon patrons. Next week, a week from today, is from 7 to 9 Eastern, open to everybody. And all of that information can be found on the Crochet Foundry site under community on our events calendar, and of course in our newsletters. I will see you around. Have a lovely day.